So, someone I want to talk about, and someone you shared quite a bit of screen time with in Impact, Hulk Hogan. Obviously one of, if not the biggest wrestler of all time, you could say.
Is
How
Babe
was
Ruth.
it being with him, and was you intimidated by him because it's Hulk Hogan?
Intimidated? No, I don't. I'm a bad person to ask that question. Though. I don't get like nerves or anxiety about things like that. And people and moments, I don't look at either of those as bigger than me. Not because I see myself as big, but because I don't. My brain doesn't compute stuff like that. Like
Right.
I've never looked at somebody and said, "Oh, they're really important. I got to be careful with this." I just see them for what they are. They're that person.
Hmm.
If I'm taking the last free throw of a basketball game, I've never had shaky hands. It's just like, well, this is a shot like any other shot. So with him, I didn't feel that, but he was a uniquely cool person to be around because not even just in wrestling, but I think just even in pop culture in general, which is crazy when you think about the statement I'm going to make, I guess. Like his silhouette and who he is like the tippy top of a list of people that are universally recognizable in the world. You know,
Yeah.
like if you think of like human beings, like if you made a short list of human beings that you could steal them from wherever they are and just drop them anywhere in the world, any civilization, and their probability of being recognized, you're talking about people like Michael Jordan,
Hmm.
Muhammad Ali, Jesus Christ, like people like this. Like Hulk Hogan is one of these people. Like he's been out of the ring for decades. I mean, if you really kind of think of him being done with Hulkamania in like 1992,
Yeah.
and then in general, like, after Hollywood Hogan, like certainly by like 2000, he's kind of like done, you know? For him to have been done that long, and now kids that have grown up in the last 10 years know him, like they know the mustache, the bandana, the body, like you could make a shadow of him and they're like, oh, that's Hulk Hogan. It's like, how do you know that? You're 12. How would you know that? That's insane, is like how like significant he is in that regard. And so I guess what I'm saying is he doesn't have to be a cool person to anybody. Like,
No.
like if there's anybody that could like, they are who they are, they do not have to be nice to you. He's one of those guys, but he is the complete opposite. Like he is so normal and down to earth. It's crazy. Like in the locker room, he's just like any other guy. I remember we had a talent meeting or some meeting at ringside, and he was just sitting in the locker room with everybody else. It's like he didn't know what it was. He's like, where is this meeting we got to go to? And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm walking around with like Alex Shelley or like other Exhibition people or whoever. I can't remember who was there at the time. And I was like, you're Hulk Hogan. Like, I thought you called this meeting.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude like anybody else. Somebody else was saying, somebody that was a Tampa flight, because it was a story about travel, and he got like a commercial. They booked him travel to go somewhere, and for whatever reason they booked him just normal commercial airline travel on like Southwest, and he didn't understand how Southwest boards. For American Southwest, they don't give you a seat number. They just give you a number, and that's the order you stand in line just to enter the plane, and then you choose any
Right.
seat, like a bus, right? And so he's like asking, I think it was our seamstress, like, how does this work? And she was like, you're Hulk Hogan. This is crazy. And she like took him to like the desk and was like, you cannot have this guy in this boarding line. Like, please board him separate from, because it's going to be a disaster. Like everybody's going to be like, oh, that's Hulk Hogan. But it didn't occur to him that like he should do that. He was just like, how do I do this with everybody else? He stops for everybody when they ask for pictures or autographs or whatever. He's like, it's insane how normal he is for like his stature, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, I was talking to Ernest Cat Miller the other night,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he was speaking about Hogan, and same as what yourself said. He said he was always so cool backstage. He said didn't walk around like a big massive star. He said he was just so cool with everyone, and he was always open to sharing ideas with everyone.
I feel like people around him that are close to him force him to be a bigger behind the scenes star than he would otherwise be. Like if he just showed up to work by himself, he would just set his bag down, sit with all the boys, and do whatever. But I feel like I feel like people around him are like, no, dude, you're Hulk Hogan. You should definitely have a separate room, or you should do this or this or this. You know, not that they're bad influences, but it just almost doesn't occur to him that he's who he is. Like I'm sure he knows he is who he is, obviously, but like, and he's definitely smart and like crafty with his business. He knows how to protect himself for sure. But like he doesn't treat people like that, you know, is what I'm saying. Like he's always been, and like I did a lot of promos and things with him, and it wasn't like it didn't feel weird or intimidating. I remember Jason Hervey almost had to intimidate me for him because we did a take and it was kind of a bust, and I'm sure it was a bust because of it was like because on my end, like whatever we did, and he's like, "We're gonna go again." And he pulls me aside. Hogan was like doing some other thing for a second, and Hervey goes, he goes, that was him taking the ball and running with it because you can't, and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I'll be better in the next one. And we got through it, but like Hogan didn't act that way at all. He was cool. And actually I should say Hervey is not cool, but it's almost like what I said, like, it's like the people around him make him more of a star than he acts. Like he's so easy.
Yeah.